Hey, can I come into your house and watch you take a bath? What, you got something to hide? Really? Wait, hold on. You don't leave your door unlocked? What's wrong with you? Ladies and gentlemen, today I have something really good to talk about. I feel like things are turning around. The positivity is all around me. You know what the best part about waking up today is? Apparently, a whole bunch of the social media heathens are destroying all these flock cameras, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, your community members are going around destroying the shit out of these cameras. For instance, these are flock cameras, or they used to be flock cameras. Basically, these little cameras that are connected onto these poles, you may not notice them, but they track your location. They allow cops, they allow people to warrantlessly track you without any permission. So I'm going to give you guys a quick little map to give you an understanding. Now, this is Canada. This is where I was raised, since the age of 1. And as you can see, we've got no flock cameras on the deflock map. Not entirely true. There are some in some weird municipalities, but you can see that we're kind of free from some of this tyranny. Thank you, Siri. Now you can see this is the Niagara Falls. I think it's one of the wonders of the world. You can see on the Canuck side, it's pretty clean. Now you can see on the American side in Buffalo, New York, it turns out to be a surveillance state. Now imagine you're like a Canadian. You're like, I'm going to go to the United States and pick up some beer or whatever, right? So, you go across the border over here, you get to the border checkpoint, and here's how you're getting tracked, okay? Now, there's a few ways, once you get through the customs and border, you can drive around the area. So, assuming you leave any of these areas, these are cameras. These are cameras owned by Flock Safety. Now, this camera could ping you going down this road. These cameras can ping you. This camera could ping you going down Niagara Street. This camera could ping you. This camera could ping you. And a whole slew of cameras are pinging you. So imagine if you're somebody that decides to go all the way down to, Grand Island. Well, you can start from here, go down, la 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 la, get pinged, go down, la 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 la, get pinged, go down, la la la, get pinged a bunch of times. Now what this means is if somebody wants to track you without a warrant, they can take your car's license plate or whatever features, put it into a computer, and the computer will say, that car was pinged here, 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 and here. We have mapped out this person's location all the way through. Now imagine you're just driving around for weeks, months, and over time, somebody's just building a database on where the fuck you drive to, what time you go where, what your usual haunts are. Kind of creepy, right? Kind of weird. Kind of makes you feel like you're in 1984. Well, that's the fucking reality today, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of people say, but Muda, doesn't this require warrants? Warrants are these really funny things that the government fucking needs. But when you have a private company like Flock, by the way, they can just do the hard work and set up the infrastructure, and then cops can just dial in, bypass the whole, the law that they're supposed to be beholden to, and just spy on the people, okay? That's how creepy shit has gone. Now, of course, Flock has also gotten to a point where it's even a little bit creepier too. If it couldn't be creepy enough, there have been people that have been showcasing that Flock was actually going beyond just license plates. They were tracking Wi-Fi and Bluetooth signals. One individual, one Redditor, sits inside his vehicle with his phone connected, and he's showing you that over time, this Connect 36295 keeps showing up, which this connection, this ping, is coming from that specific Flock camera allegedly over here. So even if you're somebody with medical equipment, like a fucking watch, like a phone, like whatever, you don't even have a car. Well, just by merely walking by, they ping your devices. And a lot of your devices come with unique identifiers that can then be used to specifically isolate certain people, okay? Your phones have specific addresses that when you figure them out, you can identify one phone from the other. So yeah, kind of creepy, isn't it? What is the reason for this even existing if it wasn't to just track every single fucking human being walking back and forth? I feel like I'm crazy when I discuss this story. Sometimes I want to take a fucking machete Because, ladies and gentlemen, I am losing my mind explaining why this. There are people that defend this crazy shit. They really do. They think, but Muda, what about the safety? What about protecting people around you? And I gotta say, man, giving up every bit of liberty you can is the biggest level of cuck shit that I've ever seen. Even the CEO for this crap, Garrett Langley, a couple weeks ago I talked about how he called people that were against his mass surveillance business terrorists. And here he's like, my comments were a mistake, and I apologize. Oh, really? There are groups today that have real valid criticisms of the business. And I think what's changed for us is, as we've listened to them and heard them out, what we're trying to do is find a balance. We believe in a world where we can have safety and privacy. Well, that's a load of bullshit, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to walk you through why it's bullshit. Do you think the cops have everything beneficial in belief for you? Well, there's a website called Have I Been Flocked? Now, if you have a license plate in the US, you can slap that in here, and using a database that is constantly evolving of, multiple FOIA requests to see what the multiple police agencies are doing around the country, you can identify if a cop has ever flocked you, for instance, if they've ever entered your license plate and tried to see who the fuck you were. And what kind of a cop would use this for nefarious reasons? Well, what about a former Kansas City police chief, mind you, not a rank and file grunt, a police chief, was actually placed on paid administrative leave. Like, the fact that you put this piece of shit on paid leave after what I'm about to tell you blows my fucking mind, man. Okay? What was this guy doing? What was he doing? Well, basically, he used flock cameras to run his ex-girlfriend's tags 164 times. 164 times. And then, it's not enough, 64 more times on her new boyfriend's tag. We've all dated somebody that's probably a psycho bitch, some psycho nut job that tracks every single thing you do after you've already broken up. You know what I mean? Like, you've moved on, they've hopefully moved on, but anytime you actually move on with your life, maybe you find somebody else, maybe your life is getting better, they have to jump in and go and say, like, they just jump in, those kind of people. And this is that guy. This is that dude. His girlfriend's already gone. She's with a new guy. They're already building their life. And he's pinging her. Not because she's missing. Not because her car got stolen. Not because there's a crime she's involved in. It's because he's romantically stalking her, man. Like, the fact that this was happening. If it happened once, that's too many times. But the fact that it happened over 100 times, and there was nothing in place to sort of come in, like Flock didn't jump in and go, why the fuck are you, like, the fact that an AI at Flock didn't come in and go, excuse me, what is it, who is this lady? Who is this guy? Why are you checking in on them so fucking much? The fact that nobody jumped in and, like, shows me that there's actually no oversight, Like, this could be happening hundreds upon hundreds of times, and it actually does. There are so many more cases. Like Louisville, Kentucky, Officer Robert Cadena was charged with multiple felonies after allegedly using the city system to track an ex-partner. And it just keeps going on. The problem is, when you make it so easy to violate the law and track you, people who are in the law enforcement, they're fucking people. They use it for nefarious purposes. So again, this isn't the only situation too. There's even more stuff as well. I talked to you guys about this like back in April. ICE, which is the Immigrations and Customs Enforcement, went one step beyond this, and they actually purchased something known as Graphite, which is malware from an Israeli firm. And this malware is allegedly used for zero-click attacks. Now, what a zero-click attack basically means is, without you realizing, your iPhone, your Android, your devices can be attacked with malware that basically processes, because as soon as your phone receives like a message or a notification, they use that space to launch, malware, right? So basically, as your phone receives data without you don't even have to click the message. It used to be, hey, if somebody sends you a shady game over Discord, don't fucking run it. If somebody sends you a shady document, don't open it. If somebody sends you a shady PDF file, don't open it. But, you know, the moment you engage with it, yeah, of course you're gonna get fucking hacked. But this is a situation where you can be the most paranoid nut and you could still actually get hacked unless you completely evict yourself from using most mainstream devices and just exclusively use, I don't know, like a Windows phone where nobody's even developing like malware for it, if anything. But the point is, obviously, ladies and gentlemen, that when you start seeing governments do stuff like this, it's like there's no oversight, you know? Like the amount of people that are using these flock cameras to track people for absolutely bullshit reasons, like romantically stalking individuals, like creepy behavior, actual, like literally what the definition of fucking stalking is. And there's no oversight. There's nobody above that says, okay, every time you run a query, every time you distribute a malware, it has to be verified with some level of a warrant. These people don't follow the fucking law. And then they bitch at you when you're cutting down their fucking towers. You know, the reality of it is that I shouldn't promote actual, like, destruction of property. And the reality of it is every time you destroy a flock camera, it's not Flock that pays for it. It's actually your city. Now, the only saving grace here is every broken camera means the city has to look and say, oh man, this program has become so expensive that we might as well not even bother going into it. But genuinely speaking, one of the reasons why I talk about this a lot, even though that it may seem kind of like a doom and gloom thing, like what are we supposed to do? The more you talk about this, the more somebody wakes up and realizes, holy shit, this is what these cameras can do? Like, I explained this to my wife, actually, too. She really didn't know much about flock cameras because, honestly, she wasn't looking into them. Until I told her, I'm like, this is how these cameras work. They're all over the city, babe. They can track you as soon as you drive from, like, as soon as you hit, like, 7 cameras, they ping your location, and they do it over time. She immediately recognized that as fucking creepy. And, you know, thankfully, places like the LAPD, you know, while they haven't, I believe, gotten rid of it, they've halted the use of these cameras because ultimately the city people are like, bro, we didn't know shit was this creepy, okay? We didn't know it was this bad. People are destroying the cameras. They're going to their fucking government. They're standing out with signs saying, get the flock out of here. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing to see, man. Like, it's good to see these companies taking it in the ass instead of giving it in the ass for so long, man. Like, at the end of the day, there's even dumb shit too, right? Like, to show you how brave dog shit cops get over this, by the way, and again, I really do mean absolutely dog shit police officers. This is a story of when flock cameras had flagged this individual down. And again, basically they flagged him because they thought that the license plates were like stolen. They were incorrectly flagged. And the bravado the cops showed here is insane. Listen to this.
I gotta tell you this at first. How come I'm getting
the reason you have 4 cops here is because your license plate is registered as stolen license plates in our system.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Hello, sir. Can you come out to me, please?
Sure.
Yes. Is it just you and the wife?
Yeah.
Come on, please, for me.
Both of us?
Both of them. Yep. Are you armed at all?
No.
No. Okay. Is this your car?
It's complicated. Can I explain it?
You can explain it. Yes.
I'm an automotive journalist.
Okay.
So I'm the director of content and product for thedrive.com. If I can get my phone. Can I get my phone?
Yeah, you can get your phone. What's the drive?
It's an automotive media website. That's me right there. In the glove box that says this car is registered and I'm a journalist.
Do you mind if we take a look at that?
Sure. Can I get it?
Yeah, absolutely.
There's nothing in the car. No other people in the car.
Okay.
So again, this is a guy that's a influencer, right? He's just writing a story for thedrive.com, which is where this clip actually ended up coming out. Now, imagine you're somebody that's like, you know, you're just you're driving your vehicle. 4 cops come up to you, like 4 vehicles, like ambushed around you, like fucking box you in. And now you're like, oh, fuck, what happened? It's not like a regular traffic stop, by the way. You know, I've been pulled over a fair bit of times throughout my life. Everyone has. And generally speaking, like when one cop pulls you over, it's like, oh, okay, whatever. I'll give you my ID because I have to ID myself. Here, I'll give you my like driver's and registration, right? Even if a cop asks me something stupid or they get like really zealous, I usually just swallow that bullshit and deal with it legally afterwards if I even have to. Thankfully, I've never done that. I've never been put in that position to have done that, thankfully. But not everyone has that luxury. Imagine if you're somebody that like doesn't have a fucking lawyer, or somebody that doesn't even have the money to fight the law enforcement agencies. You are taking it in the ass whether you like it or not, and that's purely unfair. Anyways, to go back to this, the reason this individual was ID'd as a dangerous car thief, which is why there were so many cops showing up, was a simple data error made 2,000 miles away in the state of California, creating an edge case within an edge case that Flock's AI camera network was unable to handle. Now again, remember, the cops showed up with this level of bravado because they're basically trusting this hallucinating AI system. And ultimately, they're kind of putting the pressure on a lot of these people that this guy was thankfully very calm the way that he handled it. Like, he was like, I've got no guns. Listen, I'll comply in every capacity. And, you know, to an extent, I'll even give the cops some leeway here and say, listen, they weren't going full gung-ho on this guy, but they shouldn't have even jumped in without truly verifying through the system. And again, this is the problem with mass surveillance. Oftentimes, more than not, you tend to find an issue where these things fuck up a lot and they actually do ruin regular people's lives. That's really the gross part about the story that I feel like people don't really like assess that much too. These forget the fact that this is just mass surveillance. That's bad enough. But when it fails, like, it has the capacity to really ruin somebody's life or put them in some really fucking horrible shit for at least like a few months, if not a year. Because ultimately the system itself is so slow that trying to seek justice when you've actually done nothing wrong is like something people have to go with. So again, I'm glad that people are destroying these fucking cameras. I really am glad. I'm glad that the average normie is waking up to this shit. They're actually like realizing how bad this stuff is going to be, you know? It's kind of like when I talk about any form of like crazy it's when I talk about anything like this, you know, some people are like, is it that big of a deal? I've had some people who go and say, Muda, should you really, this does stop bad people at the end of the day. This does stop like some car thieves, but it causes more issues in society than it's ever worth. And I think with Flock, at least thankfully, this has gone down to a situation where at least people are fucking waking up to it. People are realizing this is an evil system. It's a horrible company. And ultimately, it's letting law enforcement and the government spy on you through an insane constitutional workaround. And that, thankfully, is being stopped. Lots of cities are waking up to it. Lots of cities are reevaluating their contracts. And I really hope down the road, companies like Flock, all companies like Flock, not just Flock, end up completely going under. And we have less of this shit dealing with going forward, you know? Because ultimately, if people were to be docile and just sleep their way through this, it would be worse than it already is. But ladies and gentlemen, this is me, Mudahar, and hopefully you like what you saw. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Disliked if you disliked it. Kept you long enough. I am out. Enjoy the rest of your day.